Everyone. I hope that you join me in acknowledging that the land on which we gather is a traditional meeting ground and home for many Indigenous peoples, including Cree, Saulteaux, Blackfoot, Métis, and Nakota Sioux. We are grateful for the traditional knowledge keepers and elders who are with us today. We are grateful for those who have gone before us, whose footsteps mark these lands, and we are grateful for the youth who inspire us with a promising future. We are Treaty 6 people. We remember our responsibility to deepen our understanding of the treaty, to participate in and support the ongoing process of truth, reconciliation, and healing. Bienvenue, Tawau, and welcome. Welcome to Westwood, everyone. A special welcome this morning to those who are first-time visitors or consider themselves newcomers or are returning after an extended absence. Westwood is a compassionate Unitarian Universalist community where you are welcome to explore your spiritual beliefs and decide for yourself what they may or may not be, where you are welcome regardless of your gender, who you love, your wealth, or your education, where reverence for the earth and belief in the dignity of every person inform our ethics, where music is an expression of our joy, worship brings us together to celebrate what is important in our lives, and acts of justice are a symbol of our hope. My name is Margret Schubert. My pronouns are she and her. I'm your service leader today. I'm glad that you joined us here. Our excellent choir, Harmonia, led by Rebecca Patterson, is singing for us this morning. We are also accompanied by Julie, our terrific accompanist. David's brewing up some coffee for us, and our tech team is Hannah, Bill, and Carl.
I am lighting our chalice this morning to remind us of the power and beauty of balance and contrast. It is darkness that can make the flame of a single candle so powerful, and light that deepens those shadows in turn. A chalice flame is the meeting point, the union of the refuge, safety, and incredible beauty of darkness, and the warmth, the assurance, and the joy of light. May this act of lighting our chalice remind us that we're stronger together in all the complexities and the disagreements of relationship, because we are different and because we are one.
Please join us in singing song number 1000. We are entering the season of anticipation, the marking of time leading up to an expected event. Here at Westwood, we mark the weeks leading up to winter solstice, the turning of the earth, which places us at the farthest angle from the sun, the shortest day and the longest night of the year. The candle of hope represents the resilience of humanity through life's challenges and trials. This candle is lit in the direction of east, the place of new beginnings, the breath of fresh air. Together we work toward a world where all living beings may experience safety and security, beauty and promise. And we help each other to remain hopeful when this work is hard. We now light the candle of hope. Let's sing the hope verse of the Westwood Advent Carol.
Shines a light in the east, now darkness will not.
Candles of Joy and Concern is a moment in our week that gives us the opportunity to hear and express something important that is going on in our lives and in the lives of those around us. We celebrate what brings us joy and to share, and you share what is weighing on your heart. Lighting a candle is a way of showing solidarity with the person or special moment the candle is being lit for. For those of us who are online, please raise your hand so that we can acknowledge you. Okay, we're going to go ahead with anybody here who would like to come up and light a candle to express their joy or concern. Yeah. So I'm going to light one final candle for all the joys and concerns that remain in our hearts but are unexpressed. Okay, please join us in our affirmation. May the light of these candles inspire us to use our power to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to serve the spirit of truth in loving affection and trusting hope. Because this is the last Sunday during the month of November, we are going to do November birthdays. And we're going to sing happy birthday then. Is there anybody who had a birthday during the month of November or any family members? Oh, November 11th. Okay, all right. Anybody else? Yes. Brenda and Jean-Marcel both have birthdays this month. Right, they do. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Call it, that's right, sorry. Call it Brenda, Jean-Marcel, anyone else? Lucy and Lyndon, right. My husband Daryl has a birthday this month. Carl? My son Jethro has a birthday. Okay, Jethro, right, good. Is there anybody else? Anybody from online that wants to share the name of someone for a birthday? All right, I think we're ready to sing. Do we remember all those names? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear everyone. Happy birthday to you. And many more. Each week during our Sunday service, we take a few minutes to acknowledge the gifts we both bring to and receive from this compassionate community. Gifts of talent, time, and treasure. Today we are blessed with the musical talent of Julie, as well as the gifts of time and service from those who plan, greet, coordinate our sound and video systems and clean up after. If you wish to make a gift of treasure, the information for doing so is on the right-hand side of the slide. Okay, please join me as we sing From You I Receive. From Our speaker this morning is Dawn Hunter. She is an active member of Westwood congregation. She has studied and taught visual art for much of her adult life. Dawn works as a graduate student advisor for the Fine Arts departments at the University of Alberta. As a speaker for Westwood and member of the worship committee, she thoroughly enjoys engaging with her fellow Westwood friends. She is looking forward to sharing her thoughtful musings on hope and the problematic attachments that unexamined hope can create. In her presentation this morning, Dawn hopes to challenge preconceived notions of hope and suffering.
Good morning, everybody. I'm very excited to bring this talk to Westwood and to share with you the key spiritual practices that have helped me to survive the challenge of being human. Although I've certainly not mastered these practices, I'm getting so much value in the effort and experiencing growth. I have periods of darkness, but I'm able to work through my way through them and come out on the other end a little bit lighter and a little bit happier. I'm now able to distinguish the difference between acting out of fear and acting out of love. I don't always succeed, and sometimes need to do a little damage control. But I keep on trying. These practices lighten the heart and help to make interactions with oneself and others more peaceful and joyful. This is my sense of purpose in the 6th decade of my life. Thank you so much for coming to this place this morning. As a chronic problem solver, the idea of hope has often eluded me. It seems too passive. I just wanted to jump in and fix things rather than sitting back to see how things would unfold. To me, that felt unsafe. I have found out that this behavior is typical of an adult child of alcoholics. No one in the home was taking charge. So being the emotionally healthiest one, albeit the youngest, I realized early on that I had the power to make change happen rather than hoping that things would get better on their own, because they never really did. Now, I'm not here to trash hope, but to look at it critically. Hope can be described as an expression of directed intentionality toward the anticipated fulfillment of a desired outcome. To do this, we apply consciousness or mindfulness, focus, and energy towards that outcome. I love this quote from a film that I watched this year titled, "I'm Thinking of Ending Things." So the protagonist is musing on hope. Everything has to die. That's the truth, and no one likes to think that there's always hope, that you can live above death, and it's a uniquely human fantasy that things will get better, born perhaps of the uniquely human understanding that things will not. And no way to know for certain, but I suspect humans are the only animals that know the inevitability of their own death. Other animals live in the present. Humans cannot. So they invented hope. Buddhists know that ordinary hope is based in desire, wanting an outcome that could well be different from what will actually happen. Not getting what we hoped for is usually experienced as some kind of misfortune. Someone who is hopeful has an expectation that lingers in the background, the shadow of fear that one's wishes will not be fulfilled. This ordinary hope is a subtle expression of fear, and therefore a form of suffering. Hope can keep us out of the present. Holding the hope that good things from the past will return, or that the future will be brighter than the present. We hope that we will see a light that will dispel the darkness. When hope becomes an attachment to a preferred result and subsequently causes suffering, we are wise to examine the reasons for holding on to hope. We try to overlight the possibility of an overshadowing, uncertain outcome. When a black cloud is on its way, deep down we sense it, like animals before a storm. As humans, we often run from the dark, looking for light. We try to duck under it, float over it, skirt around it, run in the opposite direction from it, or wait for it to go away on its own. Waiting for the possibility of a dark outcome to go away on its own, to me, is kind of like waiting for time to heal your wounds. Well, I don't think it does. I think the passing of time often just pushes the pain out of focus for periods of time, while resentments build and unconsciousness sets in. One thing I've learned in my life is that the most effective way to overcome the darkness within is to be present with it. Hold it and deeply feel it. Let it in without distractions or attachments. Face it, acknowledge it, and move through it. And remember that emotions are transitory. As the prophet Khalil Gibran said of suffering, it is the bitter potion by which the physician within you heals your sick self. Based on a sentence in one of Virginia Woolf's journals from 1915 that reads, "The future is dark, which is the best thing the future can be, I think." Rebecca Solnit, writer for The New Yorker, wrote in an article about this statement in 2015 the following: "Most people are afraid of the dark, literally when it comes to children. Well, many adults fear, above all, the darkness that is the unknown, the unseeable, the obscure. And yet the night in which distinctions and definitions cannot be readily made is the same night in which love is made, in which things merge, change, become enchanted, aroused, impregnated, possessed, released, renewed." In the spirit of this season of darkness, I invite you to hold your darkness differently. Consider it as potentially sacred space to rest and transform. I believe that if you can face the dark, it will not have the power to consume you. I think that is the fear that stops us from confronting the dark. I've observed and claim as part of my lived experience that, ironically, much of how we distract ourselves from our fear of darkness is through consumption. It seems that the fear of being consumed by the dark consumes us and is consumed by us through our distractions and addictions, provided conveniently by our capitalist culture. So why do the work of examining our hopes and letting go of them? Because it is a bit of work. Holding on to hope where there is no hope fills up a space in your psyche, uses energy in the body, and can often be merely a function of your ego. Often we're holding on to an illusion or an uncertainty. We don't want to let go of the suffering, the thing we hold on to, but we do want to stop the feelings of pain. So we self-medicate, not from the physician within us, but through external means. We struggle to stop the pain without letting go of the source of that pain. If we examine our hopes, we might find that they hold some misguided truths and unhealthy attachments. Think of this as a metaphor for those we hold that are draining our energy. As a gardener, one of my favorite things to do is to deadhead a flowering plant, right? Fellow gardeners know that what we are doing is helping the plant to let go of those flower heads that are pulling energy from the core of the plant as those blossoms start to die. The sooner the dying flower is removed, the sooner the energy redirects towards the growing buds and smaller blooms and will generate new foliage, resulting in a more radiant, beautiful plant. For me, one of the most critical concepts in Buddhist philosophy is non-attachment. This is the practice of being present and curious about the world without attaching one's sense of self to it. I think it was Christ who said, "Be in the world, but not of the world." Non-attachment can help people acknowledge things, let things pass, and cultivate inner peace, wisdom, and compassion. Non-attachment is letting go of our attachment to impermanent and ultimately unsatisfying things, including material possessions, relationships, thoughts, and emotions. But non-attachment does not mean that we should avoid these things altogether, but rather that we should not become attached to them in a way that causes suffering when they inevitably change or disappear. We can let go of the belief that material possessions bring happiness and instead focusing on gratitude for what we have in the present moment. We recognize that all relationships are impermanent and allow them to evolve naturally without clinging to or trying to control them. We observe our thoughts and feelings without becoming attached to or identifying with them, and allow ourselves to cultivate inner peace and emotional stability that is not dependent on external circumstances. Brenda Hunter was a very talented sculptor with whom I shared a studio space while we were in our master's program at the U of A. As an Indigenous person, it was very common to lose people in her community to addiction, violence, and illness. In the course of her 2-year program, she lost 9 loved ones. 9 loved ones. I asked her if she was grieving, and she said, no, there was no time. I told her that I worried that once she grieves and lets go of these mentors, friends, family members, she would be alone, lonely, missing them. She simply responded with, I'll grab onto myself. She passed away several years ago during her time in the Department of Native Studies at the U of A. So why is letting go so hard? We care about our deeper values and anything that is related to these values. Violations of values are particularly hard to let go of. In addition, we can be so disconnected from ourselves and our deepest pain. To let go, we might need to reconnect with ourselves first and our source, and which can best be done through self-compassion. Self-compassion is very hard for some, but grabbing on to yourself can play a crucial role in the process of letting go. Significantly, it promotes emotional resilience and reduces self-criticism. So having self-compassion means being able to relate to yourself in a way that is forgiving, accepting, and loving, when your best self is lurking in the darkness. Showing kindness to ourselves means treating our worth as unconditional, even when we fall short of our own expectations. Rather than being critical or judging ourselves harshly when we already feel pain, we can recognize the negative influence of self-judgment and treat ourselves with warmth and patience instead. Now, when should we give up on hope? There are a few situations where it might be a good idea to give up on hope. When our hope will cause harm to another by holding them back. If you've tried everything and you can't see a solution, it's time to let go. When you're holding on to an idea of how things should be, let go and open to how things actually are. When you're clinging to hope instead of taking necessary action. Giving up hope can mean making space for things and people to be how they are without judgment. It can help you to fall in love without conditions. After all, attachment is self-centered. Attachment is about, I need you to make me happy, whereas love is about, I want to make you happy. I have had a lot to let go of in my adult life, mostly people, lovers, family members, friends, a few cats. And I'm currently working on letting go of my damaged personal truth. You see, my personal truth doesn't always fit with who I really am. It has been formed over the years with a collection of childhood trauma, misrepresentations that I've created of myself based on the lies I've told myself. And this pattern has caused damage. My damaged self interferes with my ability to love myself and others as deeply and authentically as I want to. The first UU principle is a belief in the inherent worth and dignity of every person. I've come to realize that my healing depends on my ability to first treat myself with dignity, worth, and respect, because I can't give away what I don't have. I want to evolve in a way that I can give freely of myself to others. However that damage came about, it's really a good idea to go through whatever is necessary to heal one's damaged personal truth, and this is why. We all deserve a piece of happiness. This tranquility is not just for other people. It's also for me. I deserve it as much as anybody else, and unless I can heal the damage, I will continue to cheat everybody around me who cares for me, loves me, and interfaces with me out of the whole of who I am and am capable of becoming. A damaged personal truth takes up a lot of space. Deep healing comes with self-compassion and embracing ourselves with kindness and care, remembering that imperfection is part of the shared human experience. That was my learning in the 5th decade of my life. I would like to share with you a piece of writing that sent me on this journey of learning to let go that began in 1998. I read it once a day, every day for about 6 months while experiencing my dark night of the soul. It's written by Melanie Beattie in the book titled The Language of Letting Go. How much do we let go of? A friend asked one day. I'm not certain, I replied, but maybe everything. Letting go is a spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical process, and sometimes mysterious metaphysical process of releasing to God and the universe that which we are clinging to so tightly. We let go of our grasp on people, outcomes, ideas, feelings, wants, needs, desires, everything. We let go of trying to control our progress. Letting go is the action part of faith that gives the universe permission to send us what we were meant to have. Letting go means we acknowledge that hanging on so tightly isn't helping to solve the problem, change the person, or get the outcome we desire. It isn't helping us. In fact, we learn that hanging on often blocks us from getting what we want and need. Who are we to say that things aren't happening exactly as they need to happen? There's magic in letting go. Sometimes we get what we want soon after we let go. Sometimes it takes longer. Sometimes the specific outcome we desire doesn't happen. Something better does. Letting go sets us free and connects us to our source. Letting go creates the optimum environment for the best possible outcomes and solutions. So in short, making space for the good stuff. So now it's time to ask the question, when is hope good? When what is hoped for realistic? When it brings the illusion of light into darkness and possibly lends us a bit of strength? Sometimes an unexamined moment of hope can get one through to the next moment. Zen teacher Roshi Joan Halifax reflects on the idea of wise hope and why we should open ourselves to it. She says, wise hope is not seeing things unrealistically, but rather seeing things as they are, including the truth of suffering, both its existence and in our capacity to transform it. It's when we realize we don't know what will happen that this kind of hope comes alive. In that spaciousness of uncertainty, it is the very space we need to act. Too often we become paralyzed by the belief that there's nothing to hope for. It becomes easy to think that nothing makes sense anymore, or that we have no power and there's no reason to act. Suffering is present. We cannot deny it. But understand, wise hope isn't meaning denying these realities. It means facing them, addressing them, and remembering what else is present. Like the shifts in our values that recognize and move us to address suffering right now. Do not find fault with the present. Show up and see it. Can there be an expression of radical and wise hope, an unconditional hope that is free of desire? Personally, I think there can be. But I think it evolves out of a conscious examination of our source in relation to the source of each hope we choose to hold. So, letting go promises numerous rewards, including enhanced well-being, thriving, less stress, more peace, and greater resilience. Letting go does not mean that we stop caring about things or people that we begin to drift through life, or that we begin to drift through life without aims and goals. Rather, it means that we develop the core skill of psychological flexibility and hone a mindset that centers on accepting of the things we cannot control. I would like to lead everyone in a silent meditation. So if you could please close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. Allow something to emerge in your mind. Identify something that you've been thinking about letting go of. It could be a repetitive thought, a habit, a limiting belief, a dream that you no longer want to strive for, a person who saps your energy, an activity that no longer brings joy. Take one more deep breath. As you breathe slow, deep breaths, ask yourself the following questions. Does it drain you, making it harder for you to have the energy to do the things that lift you higher? Does it bring you down, make you feel melancholic and low? Does it make you feel angry, unworthy, like you're wasting time when you could be doing something that makes you feel good? Does it hold you back from moving forward? If self-critical thoughts emerge, just let them in and notice them. Take another deep breath. Grief, pain, anxiety, let them in. Take another deep breath. Letting go won't necessarily happen immediately, but just take a moment to imagine the moment that you let go. Imagine no longer feeling or carrying its weight. Imagine feeling less drained, having more energy, motivation, and inspiration. Imagine being lifted higher into one final deep breath. Now slowly open your eyes. Come back to the space. And I would like to end with these words that the Buddha is known to have said. In the end, these things matter most. How well did you love? How fully did you live? How deeply did you let go? I just wanted to mention that I have this meditation, copies of it here. What I find is really kind of cool and helpful is if you record your own voice and then just lay down and play your own voice back to you in reading the slow meditation. So that's why I made extra copies. And the other thing I made, which is a gift to thank you so much for being here and listening to my musings. I made these little booklets, so I'd like everybody to take a booklet before they go. I'll just put them over on the or no, maybe we'll just leave them here and you can come up and grab one. They just have some little pictures in them. I didn't draw the pictures, but they have little pictures and quotations and spaces to write down things that you'd like to let go of. And you can keep them in your wallet. Thank you.
And we will now sing song number 344.
A lit candle flame is symbolic of the state of enlightenment. The flame represents the impermanence of form. In this way, candles are a bridge between both realities. They are of the realm of form, yet also in touch with the infinite, ever-renewing compassion from which all forms arise. Let go of resentment, embrace understanding, let go of resistance, surrender to openness. Walk softly through the dark in order to reach the light.